What if the thick fog in your life isn't a sign that you're lost, but a sacred signal that the Father is hiding you from a storm you weren't meant to face? When God is silent, 7 signs He is secretly working on your future. Part 1. Walking through the mist. Have you ever stood at a crossroads in your life where every direction looked like a wall of grey mist? Perhaps you are facing a major decision about your career, your family, or a relationship, and no matter how much you pray or plan, the path ahead remains hidden. It is a terrifying feeling to be in motion but not know where you are going. The world tells us that if we don't have a 5-year plan or a clear vision, we are failing. We are told that certainty is the mark of a successful life. But for many of us tonight, certainty feels like a luxury we simply cannot afford. You might be lying awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if the silence of heaven means that the Father has forgotten the map of your life. Dear friend, welcome to the quiet sanctuary of secrets of true faith. If you are feeling lost in the fog tonight, I want to reach out through these words and take your hand. You are in a very sacred place, though it feels like a lonely one. Today we are going to explore 7 signs God is working in your life when you can't see the way ahead. My commitment to you in this video is to help you reframe your fog, not as a sign of God's absence, but as a sign of His intense proximity. We often think that God only works in the light, but the Bible tells us He is the one who dwells in the thick darkness. By the time we finish our journey today, I want you to feel a deep, settling peace in your heart. I want you to realize that you don't need to see the whole staircase to take the next step, as long as you know who is holding your hand. You aren't wandering aimlessly, you are being led through a divine corridor that is closed to the world but open to the Father's purpose. Let's breathe together and discover the beauty of trusting the unseen hand. Part 2, Sign 1. Desiring the shepherd more than the destination. In our journey through life, we are often obsessed with the where. We want to know where we will be in a year, where our provision will come from, or where our healing is hidden. We treat the Father like a GPS system. We want Him to give us the coordinates, the estimated time of arrival, and the fastest route possible. We think that if we just had the address of our future, our anxiety would disappear. But there is a beautiful, subtle sign that the Father is doing a deep work in you right now. It's when your prayers start to shift from asking for the map to simply asking for His presence. This is your first sign. You have found that you would rather be in the mist with Jesus than in the sunlight without Him. It is a moment of profound spiritual maturity when you can say, "Father, I still don't know where I'm going, but I am so grateful that you are here." This shift happens when you realize that the destination isn't the prize. The shepherd is. Think about a small child walking through a dark forest with their father. The child doesn't know the way home. They don't know how many miles are left or which turn to take. If the child were alone, they would be paralyzed by fear. But because they are holding their father's hand, they can actually hum a song or look at the stars. Their security is not in their knowledge of the path, but in their connection to the guide. When the Father keeps the future hidden from you, He is often doing it to draw you into a deeper intimacy. He knows that if He gave you the full map, you might take it and run on ahead of Him. He keeps the mist around you so that you stay close enough to hear His heartbeat. Walking with Jesus in the unknown teaches you that His presence is your true home. If you find yourself less frustrated by the not knowing and more satisfied by the communing, then the Father is doing His most beautiful work in you. He is transforming you from a traveler into a child. You are learning that as long as the shepherd is with you, you lack nothing, even if you don't know the way ahead. Part 3, Sign 2. The dissolving of self-made blueprints. We all have them, the blueprints we've drawn for our own lives. We have Project Success, Project Family, and Project Security all mapped out in our heads. We've spent years building these structures with our own hands, convinced that they are the only way to be happy. But then something happens. The plans begin to crumble. A door that seemed wide open suddenly slams shut. A strategy that worked for everyone else fails for you. You feel like you are standing in the ruins of your own ambition, and it feels like a tragedy. But this is your second sign. The architecture of your own making is being cleared away to make room for the architecture of grace. In the Father's heart, your broken plans are often divine clearances. He is erasing your blueprints because they were too small for the destiny He has for you. You are building a hut, but He wants to build a cathedral. You are looking for a shortcut, but He is preparing a scenic route that will change your character forever. It is painful to let go of what we thought our life would look like. We grieve the version of us that didn't happen. But when you look at the mist ahead and realize that your old tools no longer work, it is a sign that the Father has taken over the construction site of your soul. Proverbs 16:9 tells us, "In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." If you feel a strange sense of surrender replacing your struggle, if you are finally saying, "Lord, your will be done because my will didn't work," then you are right where He wants you. This dissolving of your own plans is a sign of His intense favor. He loves you too much to let you be successful in a plan that would eventually leave you empty. He is removing the distractions so that His master plan can finally emerge. It looks like chaos right now, but it is actually the clearing of the ground. The Father is not destroying your life. He is dismantling your illusions so that He can give you the truth. Trust the demolition. The new building is going to be magnificent. Part 4, Sign 3, a sensitivity to small whispers. When we can see the road clearly, we tend to walk fast. We trust our eyes and our own logic. We don't feel the need to pay much attention to the small details because we think we have the big picture. But when you are in a thick mist, everything changes. You slow down. You listen more carefully. You become acutely aware of every small sound, every change in the wind, and every tiny signal. Your spiritual senses become heightened because your physical sight has failed you. This is your third sign. You are beginning to notice the small whispers of the Father in places you used to ignore. Perhaps it is a single sentence in a book that jumps out at you, or a stranger's kind word that feels strangely like a message from heaven. Maybe it's a quiet prompting in your heart to go a different way or to reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in years. When the Father hides the big map, He starts to guide you with daily manna signals. This is the architecture of trust. God rarely shows us the whole mountain. He usually just shows us the next 2 inches in front of our feet. He gives us just enough light for the step we are on, but not enough to see the next mile. This forces us to stay in constant minute-by-minute conversation with Him. If you find yourself more sensitive to these small coincidences, know that this is the Father's hand at work. Nurturing the seed of this sensitivity is how you learn to be led by the Spirit. In the mist, you learn to recognize the invisible fragrance of His presence. You stop looking for a loud sign and start listening for a gentle nudge. These small whispers are His way of keeping you in the rhythm of grace. If He gave you the whole map, you might stop listening. But by giving you just the next step, He ensures that you never stop looking at His face. If you are noticing these timed blessings and quiet promptings, don't doubt them. They are the Father's way of saying, "I am right here, directing your path one heartbeat at a time." You aren't lost. You are being guided with a precision that only those in the mist can truly appreciate. Part 5, Sign 4, the strength to endure the now. Often when we talk about God working, we think about Him changing our circumstances. We wait for the breakthrough, the miracle, or the big change that will solve all our problems. We think that if God is active, things must be moving. But there is a silent, powerful sign of His work that we often overlook. It is when your circumstances don't change, but you do. It is when you are given a supernatural strength to handle the now that used to overwhelm you. This is your fourth sign. You have the daily grace to stand firm in a situation that should have broken you by now. If you look at your life and realize that despite the uncertainty and the fog, you are still standing, still breathing, and still holding on to hope that is not your own strength. That is the Father's heart pumping his own resilience into your veins. In the Bible, when the Israelites were in the wilderness, they couldn't see the promised land. All they could see was sand and sky. But every single morning, without fail, the manna appeared on the ground. It wasn't a week's supply, it was just enough for that day. This is how the Father works when the way ahead is hidden. He doesn't give you future strength for future problems. He gives you present strength for present needs. If you find that you have just enough peace to get through this hour and just enough patience to handle this struggle, that is the architecture of divine support in action. Walking with Jesus through the mist means realizing that your endurance is actually a miracle. We often pray for the storm to stop, but sometimes the Father's greatest work is making us storm-proof. If you haven't given up, if you are still choosing to be kind, and if you are still trusting even through the tears, it is because he is secretly sustaining you. You are being held up by an invisible power. This strength is the evidence that he is with you in the fog. He is not just preparing a destination for you, he is preparing you for the destination. You are becoming a person who can carry the weight of the future because you have learned to lean on him for the strength of today. Part 6, Sign 5, the divine rearranging of your circle. When the path ahead is obscured by mist, we often reach out our hands to find something familiar to hold on to. We look to our friends, our mentors, and our social circles for a sense of stability. But have you noticed that during this season of uncertainty, the furniture of your social life seems to be moving? Perhaps certain people who were once very close to you have quietly drifted away, or perhaps new individuals have appeared, people who seem to carry a specific kind of wisdom or a gentle light that your soul needs right now. This is your fifth sign. The Father is rearranging your circle to protect your progress in the fog. In the architecture of grace, the people around us are more than just companions. They are the environment in which our faith grows. When the Father is preparing to lead you into a new territory, he often has to change who is walking beside you. Some people are meant for a season but not for the destination. If they stayed, their doubts might become your shadows, or their limited vision might discourage you from taking the leap of faith the Father is asking for. This process can be painful. It can feel like rejection or loss. You might wonder why those you trusted are suddenly distant. But I want you to look at it through the lens of heaven's care. If a gardener prunes a vine, it isn't because he hates the branches. It's because he loves the fruit. The Father is pruning your relationships so that your energy isn't wasted on connections that can no longer sustain your growth. He is hiding you from voices that would speak fear into your midst, and he is bringing in destiny helpers, people who know how to walk in the dark and who can encourage you to keep going. Walking with Jesus often involves these quiet departures and sudden arrivals. If you find yourself in a smaller, more focused circle, do not be afraid. The Father is narrowing your focus so that you can hear his voice more clearly. He is surrounding you with a support structure that is aligned with the new thing he is doing. Trust the divine pruning. Let go of the hands that are pulling away, and open your heart to the new brothers and sisters guide is sending your way. They are the lamp bearers the Father has appointed for this specific stretch of the road. You aren't being isolated. You are being insulated for the journey ahead. Part 7, Sign 6, the birth of a new compassion. There is a unique kind of sight that can only be developed in the darkness. When everything is bright and the road is clear, it's easy to be judgmental of those who are struggling. We look at people who are lost and think, why don't they just find their way? But when you are the one in the mist, when you are the one who feels lost and uncertain, your heart undergoes a radical transformation. This is your sixth sign. You are developing a heart of compassion for others who are also walking in the fog. Have you noticed that lately you have a deeper patience for the brokenhearted? Do you find yourself less likely to criticize and more likely to pray for someone who is failing? This is not just a change in your personality, it is the Father's heart being formed within you. He is using your season of not knowing to make you a safer person for others. In the architecture of truth, the Father never wastes a single tear or a single moment of confusion. He is training you to be a comforter. He is allowing you to experience the weight of uncertainty so that one day when you are standing in the sunlight of your breakthrough, you will not forget what it feels like to be in the shadows. You are becoming a person who doesn't just give cliches to the hurting, but someone who can sit with them in the silence and offer true, empathetic hope. Nurturing the seed of this compassion is one of the highest purposes of the mist. If you find your heart breaking for the least of these, or if you feel a sudden intense urge to encourage a stranger who looks weary, that is a sign that Jesus is working through your current struggle. You are being softened for a ministry you haven't even seen yet. You are being prepared to lead others, not by your certainty but by your faithfulness in the dark. Your mist is becoming a womb for mercy. Do not despise the pain of feeling lost. It is the very thing that will make you found in the lives of so many others. You are being transformed into a vessel of grace that knows the value of every single step. Part 8, Sign 7. The peace that surpasses understanding. The final and most powerful sign that the Father is working in your life is a miracle of the inner spirit. It is a sign that defies logic and ignores your circumstances. It is when you look at the fog surrounding your future, the unpaid bills, the health questions, the career silence, and instead of a scream of panic, you find a hush of peace. This is your seventh sign. You have a peace that surpasses all understanding. This is exactly what Philippians 4:7 describes, a peace that doesn't make sense to your mind because it doesn't come from your mind. It comes from the Father's presence. It is the anchor of the soul, holding firm even when the ship is surrounded by a thick gray cloud. When you reach the point where you can say, "I don't see the way, but I know the one who is the way," you have reached a place of total spiritual victory. The world's peace is dependent on knowing what happens next. But heaven's peace is dependent on knowing who stays next to you. If you find that you can sleep tonight, despite the unanswered questions, it is because the Father is singing over you in the dark. He is breathing his own tranquility into your lungs. Walking with Jesus in this peace is the ultimate sign that he is in control. You have stopped fighting the mist and have started to trust the invisible hand that is guiding you through it. This peace is your internal compass. As long as that peace is there, you are on the right path. It doesn't matter if you can't see 10 miles ahead. If you have peace for the next 10 inches, you have everything you need. This peace is the evidence that your soul has finally realized that the Father is God over the fog. He isn't waiting for the mist to clear to start working. He is working in the mist to build a trust in you that will never be shaken. You are resting in the I am while the world is worried about the what if. You are safe. You are held, you are home even before you arrive. Part 9, Resting in the Unseen Hand, Conclusion and Blessing. As we close this chapter of our journey tonight, I want you to imagine the fog lifting just for a moment, not to show you the road, but to show you the face of the one who has been walking with you every second. He hasn't been ahead of you, shouting directions. He hasn't been behind you, pushing you forward. He has been right there, his shoulder brushed against yours, his hand firmly gripping your own. The mist in your life is not a barrier, it is a pavilion of protection. It is the place where the world cannot reach you, but where the Father has you all to himself. You aren't being delayed, you are being perfectly timed. You aren't lost, you are being guided by a higher light. Every sign we've spoken of today, from the shifting of your plans to the unexplainable peace in your heart, is a love letter from heaven's care, telling you that your future is a masterpiece already finished in the Father's mind. My friend, you can close your eyes tonight without a single worry about tomorrow. The one who created the stars knows exactly how to navigate the clouds in your life. Trust the unseen hand. It has never let go of a child yet, and it is not about to start with you. Before you go to sleep, let us seal this peace together. This is our covenant activation, a sacred amen to the truth we have discovered. Go to the comments right now and write, "I trust the unseen hand." Let these words be the last thing your spirit says before you drift into rest. If you have seen a small whisper or a divine wink from the Father during your time in the fog, share it with us. Let this be a community of light for those still searching for the way. Father, I pray for the one who feels surrounded by shadows tonight. I pray for the heart that is weary of not knowing the how or the when. Let your supernatural peace flood their room right now. Let them feel the warmth of your hand on theirs. Remind them that you are the light that the darkness cannot overcome. Give them a night of deep, quiet, and restorative sleep. Let them wake up tomorrow with a quiet confidence that even if the fog remains, you are leading them perfectly. We trust your heart, and we trust your hand. In the gentle and powerful name of Jesus, amen.